It is another blessed night again where I am coming live to you. I don't know where you might be joining me from, but wherever you are joining in from, I welcome you in the wonderful name of our Lord Jesus Christ. I do not stand to be holier than thou, but I stand as a man who saw the light and ran for my life. I've been around. I've been around, and this coming December, I'll be turning 28. This past December, I just turned 27 years old. I've been around in ministry, and I actually started preaching when I was 13 years old. That was when I got into full-time ministry. As I got into full-time ministry, I got acquainted to different men of God. And I remember that during one of my interviews that I did on this platform, there are some things that I mentioned, and I said that as I was starting ministry, during my infancy stages of ministry, I used to be someone who was very much strong on the Word of God, and I didn't want anything to do with the prosperity gospel. At times I go through my old Facebook account and I begin to see all the posts that I used to post back in the days, and I realized that these are the same things that I'm addressing today, and this is actually the gospel that I'm preaching today. So it's not something new, but along the way, because of certain people that I met, certain individuals that I came across along the way, you know, the message changed, a lot of things changed, and up to where I am today. But one thing that I want to thank God for is the fact that with all the people that I've met, all the men of God that I've met, they have all taught me different things that I strongly believe that have not benefited me in any way in my walk of salvation, in my walk with Christ, and in my walk with God. Over a few days or over a few weeks, people have been going back to my old posts where I met with where I was a son of a certain man of God. I'm going to try by all means not to mention people's names, as I've been advised by my legal team. I've been advised by my legal team not to mention anybody's name, so that because I know that most of the people who are watching tonight, they are waiting for me to incriminate myself so that they can be sending me some documents and everything. But I'm going to use some code names for you to know exactly who I'm talking about. So there's a certain man of God that I've been submitting to recently, who I left, not recently, but last year. We parted ways because of the encounter that I had with Christ. I had an encounter with God, and I had to change everything about my ministry and everything that I do as a man of God. So it was at that time that a lot of things changed. I started getting attacks from different places. Many people thought I was losing my mind. Many people thought a lot of things were happening that were not right in my life. So a lot of people have been going back to pick up some screenshots and some things from the posts I used to post, where I used to say, I met a man and he led me to Christ. I'm going to give you the reasons why I was posting those things those days, why I posted those things those days, and why I am where I am today, and why I've decided to come and speak the way that I want to speak tonight. Without wasting so much time, I want to go straight to the details that I'm bringing to you tonight. And I want you to be very attentive, and I want you to be as attentive as you can be, because whatever that I'm going to speak about tonight, these are things that you have to take note of in your walk of faith, in your walk of Christianity, and in everything that you are going to be doing that has to do with the things of God. I want you to know that a lot of things have been happening in the body of Christ. And there are men of God that I've met, men of God who have introduced me to different things. I'm not going to divulge everything tonight, for I've been also advised by my legal team that there are different platforms where I have to speak about different things. For some other things that I'm also going to be speaking about, they might incriminate me at some point. So I'm going to try by all means not to incriminate myself, because especially the man of God I'm talking about is very, very good at sending lawyers and sending documents and trying to sue you. They actually sent another document sometime in December. Remember, what I'm saying tonight is not to try to spite anybody, but I'm just speaking my truth. And I know that after tonight, After tonight, there's going to be guns blazing from every corner, but I want you to know that I'm ready. My legal team is ready. My own personal security is ready. My own personal security is ready to tackle and to deal with any funny thing that might try to happen to me. And if anything happens to me, everybody must know that some of the people that I'm mentioning tonight, they are responsible for whatever that is going to happen to me after tonight. The one that I recently left. I saw this man of God, and as I saw this man of God, I fell in love with everything that he would do, everything that he was. I fell in love with it, and then I went to him. I became a son. I became a son of this man of God. I was very, very close to him, and very close in the sense that I became very close in a very short period of time, and I'll tell you why I became very close. I became very close because this man of God had enemies, and his enemies are actually these guys that I used to be with. I used to be with the other guys, and these other guys were this man of God's enemies. So I became very close. He took me too close because he wanted to prove a point to these other guys that, you know what, and now I have your J. Israel in my camp. He gave me the platform in his church to minister. He gave me the platform to go and prophesy. And most of the things that happened with me and him, I'm going to talk about it tonight. And I'm going to bring everything to light for everybody to know. But I said, let me just start from somewhere where I'll begin to just give you a bit of a background of where I'm coming from, where I'm going, what happened to me, and what is the future of J. Israel, and what is going on, what is going to happen after this. Okay, so I met this man of God, became very close to him. I actually became very, very close. We got too close in such a way that I taught him things. I taught him things in as much as he also taught me things. You can argue with whoever you want to argue with, but this is the honest truth. I taught him things, and he also taught me things. Our relationship was more of a father and son, but we were so close in such a way that I'll talk as we go. So the other guys started fighting me. J. Israel has left us. He's attacking us, everything, whatnot. And I said, listen, when I met this man of God that I met, he said to me, son, follow Christ, glorify Jesus. In everything that you do, glorify Jesus. I said to myself, I think I've met a true man of God. And I went all out, posting everything on social media, saying I've met a man who has led me to Christ. He has taught me about Christ. Little did I know that I'm being lured. I'm being lured slowly but surely to a place that I didn't know what was going to happen next. I did everything that I did, and as you know, as a son, when you are a son, you just follow whatever that comes. You do whatever that comes. Whatever that comes, you follow it. Okay, whatever that happens, you just follow that. You just follow it through. I remember, this is the first thing that I want to talk about. I remember that I invited my East London church to say, let's go together to that place, you know. Let's go together to that place, to my spiritual father. He has got a service, and let's go together. So we all went there, and then he called me to his office, said, come to my office. From the service, I went up to his office. When I went up to his office, I got there, and then he said, okay, son, you know, this is what we're going to talk about. And then as we are talking about what we have to talk about, you know, I'm going to give you a prophetic word. And then after I give you a prophetic word, then I'm going to pray for you. Then I'm going to pray for all your other people that you're bringing tonight and stuff like that. So that was it. And then it passed. So afterwards, he said to me, so let's make something up. This is the truth. This is the truth. The video is available. It's everywhere on the internet. And everything about that video was a lie. It was a lie that me and him, we cooked together in his office. In his office, in the third floor. That's where his office is. We stood there together, and then we began to cook everything that we cooked there. He said to me, I'm going to say to you, this is the honest truth. I did not have the guts. I had so much respect for this man in such a way that it was on that day that I lost all respect for him, but I still continue to follow him because I said, you know what, now I'm going to look foolish to people. I'm not ready. Anyway, let me just go with the flow. I went with the flow, followed the flow and everything, and then he said to me, let's make this up. I'm going to say to you, you met a man at the airport and his name is Thomas Kruger. If you want to confirm this, go on YouTube right now. Go and find this prophecy. It's available on YouTube, on their YouTube platform. where he said to me, I met a man at the airport. And this man that I met at the airport, his name was Thomas Kruger. And he said to me, I'm going to say you met Thomas Kruger and then you prayed for Thomas Kruger. He got healed from cancer. And then after he got healed from cancer, this is what happened. He said he was going to bless you with money. So I'm standing there and I'm looking at this man. I'm like, okay, all right, no problem. It's fine. It's okay. So I agreed to everything. Those who've been in the prophetic churches and those who are in the prophetic churches, hear me and hear me well. After this broadcast tonight, I leave you with the decision whether you go back to your prophetic church or you'll find a word-based church. Okay? So he said to me, let's cook everything. We cooked it. Thomas Kruger, we went into the church. Everybody who's watching right now, I know, they know this story. Even most of the church members, even the sons who are attacking me on social media, who are going on social media right now, attacking me, even those who've been attacking me over these past weeks, even those who've been sending me threats, you know, they know what I'm talking about. The prophecy that your spiritual father gave to me, where he said that his name is, there's a man called Thomas Kruger, and Thomas Kruger is a man that I met. I've never met any Thomas Kruger in my life. You know, I've never prayed for any Thomas Kruger in my life. That's where many people probably got to know about me as well. So we cooked this thing together, me and him. Why? What was the reason for this? The reason was for the people I brought from East London to believe in my spiritual father that if he can prophesy to me with such accuracy, then he's a true man of God. Everything that is done under the guise of the prophetic is always just to make people believe that this one is a true man of God. Okay? So we engineered this thing together. We went into the church. He called me. He said, son, I see you at the airport. You met Thomas Kruger. And then Thomas Kruger, you prayed for him. And then I said, yes, it's true man of God. It's true. I was shouting and everything. If I look back to these things, my heart breaks. You know, my heart breaks. And these are things that my conscience does not allow me, to sit with such things, knowing very well that there's thousands, if not millions of people who are being deceived out there by a man of God. I used to be there. I was there. I was part of almost everything that happened. I was part of almost everything that was engineered. I'm going to speak about it tonight. But I thank God for the encounter that I had with him, where I had an encounter and I was missed by rapture. It was on that day that I said, you know what? All these prophetic things, all these lies, gimmicks, and tricks and everything, all the trickery of the things of trying to prove to people that this one is a true man of God and this one is not. From today onwards, I'm not going to be part of these things anymore. Okay, so I know you can say whatever you want to say tonight. Listen, I don't mind. It's okay. So we're there. He prayed and then he spoke in tongues. God knows whose tongues are those. He prayed for me and then he said, this is what is going to happen. You are going to have so and so, and you are going to have this and this, and then, you know, you are going to have this and you are going to have this. And then he spoke all those things and then he said, okay, now it is well, you can go. He released me. Then he called me after church. Son, how was it? No, it was good, Papa. It was great. My people are really happy that you are a true man of God. I'm acquainted to a true man of God. You are a true servant of God and everything, you know, and you know, he was very happy, you know. So our relationship got tighter and tighter. We got closer and closer and closer and closer. Then I remember one of the days he said to me, son, I'm going to call you because I want to market the GTG, the Gift Transferring Gathering, okay? I want to market the GTG, the Gift Transferring Gathering. I want to market this thing so well. So I'm going to give you a platform and then I'm going to impart you in front of everybody. Then I'll give you the microphone. Then you prophesy to prove to people that impartation works. Let me tell you this. There is nobody acquainted to this man of God I'm talking about who has got a true spiritual eye to prophesy in the spirit. Nobody. All the people that you see, that you will say, I prayed for you, here's the microphone, go and prophesy. These are people that he calls to his office. You know, he calls them up to his office. In his office, he has got a big screen in his office. This screen has got all the cameras. The whole church has got cameras. If it's a lie, go and prove it. The whole church has got cameras everywhere, from the entrance, outside, underground, in the basement, everywhere. There's cameras everywhere. These are people that he calls to his office and they say, come and sit here. Come and sit down here. Then you'll begin to lecture them. You'll begin to tell them things. You'll say, okay, you see there's that person sitting on the second row on number 4. You go and tell that person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the so-called bishops, you know, they'll go there. They're part of the thing. They're part of the arrangement, and they're part of the scamming of people and everything. They know what I'm talking about. As they are watching right now, they are probably shaking and saying, no, Jay, don't talk about it. I'll talk about it. If I die, I die. This is for my conscience, and this is for the people of God to know the truth. That is why I'm not coming here tonight to say, no, this is what they did. No, we were together. We're doing it together. You know, I'm not coming to say, no, this one is wrong. This one is wrong. We were in it together. Okay. We were in it together, and whatever that happened, we did it together. I'm not excluding myself. I'm not taking myself out. I'm putting myself in it as well. You know, up until God touched me and I decided to say, you know what? I'm done with these things. I'm not going to follow these things anymore. I'm out. I'm out, and whatever happens, happens. Okay. At first, I didn't want to speak about the things that I'm speaking about tonight because I was afraid of what they might do to me. At first, I didn't want to talk about these things. I didn't want to say all this, but my conscience keeps on saying, you know what? Educate people. Tell the whole world that this is what happens under the guise of the prophetic. You know, so there was a time when the bishops, you know, from that place that I'm talking about, that one day in Johannesburg, yeah, they were given microphones. They go and prophesy. They can't see nothing, those people. They don't prophesy. Even the man I'm talking about, he is not a prophet. He does not prophesy. He does not prophesy. He does not hear from God. This is a man who has got a very sophisticated system in his team. He has got a very sophisticated system in his team. He has got more than 30 or even close to 40 people that he works with. Every day before the service begins, there are ladies and there are men who go up to his office, where they used to be, where they just left, because they have moved to a different place now. But where they were before service, there are men and women who go up to the service. When they go up there, they go with a list of things. They go there with a list of things. They go with a list of things that they go and tell him, there's a lady there who's sitting on the second row, and then he'll be standing there in his office. If I'm lying, let God strike me dead right now where I'm sitting, if I'm lying about what I'm saying right here. You know, let the thunder of God strike me, and let the fire of God strike me dead right here where I'm sitting right now. You know, so they go up there with information. They go and give him information. How do they work? There's thousands of people who come from overseas coming down to attend the so-called IVPs. There's thousands of people who come from America, and I know some are watching right now, from America, from Britain, from England, from New Zealand. This is what happens. Those who pick them up from the airport will begin to have conversations with them. How are you? So it's good to see you. Why did you come? No, I came because I've got a problem. You know, when these people come from overseas, they'll just speak anyhow. No, I've got this problem. That time they don't know that whoever is asking them is recording everything down, is writing everything down and writing everything down and writing everything down. When the service is about to begin, when the service is about to start, they take the information to the man of God. They take it to his office. He'll be sitting there in his office on his desk with his iPad. And he will write everything. He will write everything on his iPad. There's so-and-so, she came from America. Some people will wonder, why is it that this man of God will get into the church? Then he will go to the back, and then he will say, there's someone on the row number 15 who's sitting on row number 15 who's sitting on chair number 4. No, there's cameras everywhere. There's cameras in the whole church. The church has got cameras everywhere. Wherever you are sitting, if you are talking to somebody, a camera is watching you. There's cameras everywhere. So this is what happens. These cameras will be watching. So when the people go up, they take the information to him. Then they'll say, that one day is from America, and then he's got this problem. And if you came as an international visitor, either in Johannesburg, Pretoria, wherever you went to, as an international visitor, I want you to begin to refresh your memory very well. There are people that met with you, either at the hotel, either at the airport, either at church. They met up with you at church, they met up with you at the hotel, and they began to have a conversation with you. As they were having a conversation with you, I want you to remember very well, almost everything that you spoke about with some of the people you met, those are the same things that were prophesied to you in church. If I'm lying, then it means that I'm sent by the devil to come and destroy true men of God. If I'm lying about this, then it means I'm sent by the enemy to come and destroy true servants of God. Okay, so refresh your memory. If you came from America, I was actually chatting to one lady just a few weeks ago. A few days ago, I was chatting to one lady on Instagram. She's probably watching right now. She's from America. She said, "Man of God, I came down to South Africa. I wanted healing. I saw miracles happening. I saw people standing up on wheelchairs, standing up from wheelchairs. All those wheelchair stories, I'll talk about it. Standing up from wheelchairs, standing up. I saw people being healed. I saw people receiving prophecies, but I came back to America with my problem. Nothing changed in my life. What might have happened? What might have been the problem?" And then I said, "Anyway, tell me." Then she said, "You know what? I found out that the same things that I told people when I arrived in South Africa at the hotel, there were some ladies that came and they spoke to me. They were asking me questions about my life and everything. The same things that I told these people are the same things that were prophesied to me in church. I'm not going to mention their names, but I know all of them by name. I'm not going to mention their names, but I know all of them by names, one by one. I know all of them by names. What I'm speaking is the truth. It is the truth, and there's proof of what I'm saying in my phones. There's proof of what I'm saying in my phone. Some messages that we exchanged some time back when we're still together, where you would say, "Oh, son, I want you to do this for me. Please come do this for me." You know, I still have the track record of all the messages, you know. And some of the, you know, it's a lot. But anyway, let me just take it easy. And yeah. I know that I see somebody saying some things are really surprising when revealed. But I want you to know that in fact, almost all the prophetic churches in South Africa, this is how they operate. Almost all the prophetic churches in South Africa, almost all the prophetic churches in Africa, this is how they operate. I don't know how you're going to take it. I don't know what you're going to think about it, but this is the truth, okay? So go on YouTube, go and look for a prophecy that was given to me about Thomas Kruger, you know. There's nothing like that. There's no Thomas Kruger. He doesn't exist anywhere. After some time, he called me. He said, "Son, come back and give a testimony about Thomas Kruger." I went there. I said, "So what will I say?" Then he said, "No, just tell people that you met Thomas Kruger and Thomas Kruger blessed you. He gave you this and he gave you that." I said that in front of everybody, in front of the whole thousands, probably millions of people who were watching on that day. I gave that testimony, you know. But was it a testimony? No, it was not a testimony. This was just an arranged thing. What for? What? Just for the purposes of saying, no, this man of God is a true man of God. He's actually, he does not hear from God. He does not hear. If he has spiritual power, then I want him to use his spiritual power wherever he is to make me go blind where I'm sitting right now. There was a video where there was a woman that he called to church, and then he did things, many people, then he took out an underwear from his bag. It's there on YouTube. He took out an underwear from his bag. Listen, there's nothing like that, okay? There was another one also from Zimbabwe. This is a guy from Zimbabwe who was given a prophetic word. This guy was given a prophetic word, and when the guy was given a prophetic word, they told him that you killed people in the army. One journalist from Zimbabwe called me and said, "Hey, my brother, the person that has been prophesied to by your father is actually like this. He's not in the army. He has never been part of the army. He was actually a security guard at some point. But this is the prophecy that he has received. How do we manage this thing, you know?" And then I said to this guy, "Listen, please, you are my friend. He's from Zimbabwe. You're my friend. You're a journalist. Please don't release this thing, okay? Don't release it to the public. Don't put it in the press. I'll send you money." I sent him money. I sent the journalist money, and then the thing just disappeared, you know? So everyone who's watching me right now, I want you to know that I've been saying this from last year, and I've been saying 99% of these prophets, they are not from God. They don't hear from God. They are not actually called by God. They are not part of anything that happens. You see them coming and saying, "No, I was in prayer. I was hearing from God. Last night, God said this to me." It's a lie. There's nothing like that. There is nothing like that. You know, there is nothing like that. There is nothing like that. About 2 days ago, I sat down with my legal team. They came to see me here at my house, and then we sat down. They said to me, "Listen, when you're going to speak on that day, make sure that you don't reveal everything, because there are some things that are already under investigation as we speak. There are things that are under investigation and things that I have solid proof that this is how it happened and this is what happened to this." And they advised me that don't talk about this, don't release anything, any information about this thing. because it is under investigation. And then I said, no problem. You know, so this is just the beginning of what is about to come. You know, I'm not only going to be on this platform. In the next coming few days, I'm going to be on TV. In the next coming few days, again, I'm going to be on some program on national television here in South Africa, different programs where I'm going to be sitting and talking about everything, the way things are happening in the church, the way things are arranged in the church, and everything. I'm going to talk about it so that everyone all over the world will not be deceived anymore. I believe it is time for a true church to rise, a true church of God, a true church of Christ, a God-fearing church to rise and take authority in nations and take authority over the whole world. Enough is enough. Enough of these lying prophets who come in the name of the prophetic. Someone might say, but why would you say this yet you were part of them? That's true. The Bible says there's a man who was healed by Jesus. When the man was healed, he was blind. He was blind. And when he was healed by Jesus, the Bible says he went away. And they asked him a question and said, what happened to you? The man could not explain what happened to him. The man could not explain what happened to him. The only thing that the man could say was that I once was blind, but now I can see. I know you have so many, why would you say this? Why would you talk like this? You were part of them. It's true. I was part of them. I was once blind, but now I see. You know, the same power that converted Paul when he was, that converted Saul, when he was on his way to go and kill Christians, on his way, the same power that touched Paul and converted him to Saul, that touched Saul and converted him to Paul, it is the same power that also touched me. It is the same power that touched me and changed my life and converted me to be this man that I am today. And for your own information, I'm not ashamed of the man I am, and I'm not ashamed of who I am, and I'm not ashamed of what I am. This is who I am, and I'm going to stand for this truth. I'm going to speak this truth without compromise, and I will reveal the truth without compromising and without fear or without even looking sideways or anything. So most of the things that are happening in the prophetic, they are in prophetic churches. And let me talk about prophetic churches that I know. Now, these big people, these big men of God that you see on TV, they are big prophets. They are here in South Africa. They are big prophets. They have sons everywhere. This one, I'm son of my father, son of my father, son of my father. And this one said, after I met my father, I was imparted, and now I can prophesy. Most of, in fact, all the sons, if not most of them, because there are some who can hear from God, and there are some who don't hear from God totally. So most of these sons who are raised and they say, I am a son of prophet so-and-so, and they begin to prophesy. They don't prophesy. They just have so much pressure from their fathers, because their fathers are running sophisticated prophetic mafias. The other one is saying there's a rising of a prophetic voice, a rising of the prophetic. There's nothing like that. There can never be a prophetic mafia or a rising of the prophetic voice, yet somebody does not hear from God. This is something that I personally tried and tested. One time I said to myself, I want to lie to this man and see if he is going to catch me. I want to tell him a lie and see if he called me, son, where are you? I said, no, I'm at so-so place, knowing very well that I'm not there. And then countless times, just to prove, because I said, when I met this man, what he introduced me to and what he told me is now different from all these things that is now introducing me to. I know many people are afraid of these prophets because they'll say, no, I'll use power to kill you. They don't have spiritual power. If they have the power that they claim to have, I want them to gather, all of them. I want all of them to gather and use the power that they have to kill me or to strike me with blindness or to strike me with madness. I want them wherever they are. So they don't have power. There is no power, that there is nothing, no power, nothing. So don't be afraid of them. Don't fear them. Many young men and women are trapped in these prophetic churches. They're trapped. They can't leave. They can't go out. And they don't know why they can't go out, you know. And most of them, most of the young men you see, the sons and whatnot, they're part of the game. They're part of the game. The sons, because the sons do not afford to have the sophisticated systems that the fathers have. Now they go on Facebook. They use Facebook to prophesy to people. We see them each and every day. You go on Facebook. Even now, if you go on Facebook after tonight, you just go on Facebook, and then you'll see someone will be prophesying on Facebook calling names, calling numbers, calling things, and someone will say, yo, they can hear from God. They are really prophesying. There's no prophecy there. There is no prophecy there, you know. It is happening right now. There are Zoom meetings that are happening, and someone will say, I know someone who's watching me right now will argue with me and say, man of God, but ever since lockdown started, my prophet is prophesying via Zoom and is mentioning people's things via Zoom. Listen, most of the people who are being prophesied via Zoom and who are being prophesied, they're in America, just like the videos that I've been seeing over the past few days, that this man of God I'm talking about right now has been putting out on his channel and putting out for trying to make people to believe that he can hear from God, because he knew that tonight I'm coming to City and I'll be speaking this. And they've been trying to send out all kinds of videos just to confuse people, just to make people think that they hear from God, that just to make people believe that they are true prophets, they hear from God, whatnot, this and that, okay? So because they knew that I'm coming today, they started sending out videos where they are prophesying online. They're saying, there's a woman in America, you are sitting here, you've got a problem like this. Listen, most of these people are people who sent emails to the church. Say, no, man of God, please pray for me, I've got this problem. Man of God, that is why some people are called during live broadcast. Say, I'm seeing a woman from America, you are sitting, you are like this, your name is this, and then the person does not respond there because the person is not watching, but the person is probably sleeping. Then by the time the person wakes up, he goes online, he sees that, oh, the man of God mentioned about me. No, oh, wow, this is the power of God has touched me. No, there's no power of God. You've been sending a prayer request to this church. You've been sending prayer requests. Not only this one I'm talking about, but almost everywhere. You know, almost everywhere. You send your prayer requests, and then they go online. They use those things to tell you. They twist them nicely. They twist them nicely to make you think that it is really from God. They add some things. There's a spirit, and there's nothing like that. The person who traveled all the way from Johannesburg to come down and see me here in Durban. When this man came here in Durban to see me, he said to me, Prophet, I'm actually shocked and surprised at what is happening. This is a man of God. He's a son of a well-known man of God. A man of God whom people think is an authentic man of God, but this is a son. This son collected information from my wife's Facebook, and he prophesied to my wife about using information that he found on Facebook. Then he prophesied to my wife. He mentioned things. I'm seeing this here, I'm seeing this there, I'm seeing this here, and this there, this here, this there. And then my wife came to me and said, but this is not even my shop that this man was talking about. I don't even know this thing this man was talking. I just took a picture in this place, and then I just posted on Facebook and said, wow, God has blessed me. I thank God for the grace. And then the man thought it was a shop that belongs to this person. He went and he prophesied, yet it was wrong. The other one picked the date of birth on Facebook. That was wrong. He said this, but he said, no, the date of birth is just a Facebook date of birth. It's not my date of birth. These things give me so much anger. When I sit down here right now and I begin to reminisce on these things and I look at everything, they make me so angry inside. They give me so much anger in such a way that when I sit down and I begin to think about it, I say, but God, until when are these things going to happen? Until when are these things going to continue happening? Many people will not believe some people who don't have a platform like I have when they come out and speak, because they'll say, no, they're coming out to speak because of certain reasons and stuff. But this is the honest truth. This is the honest truth. Okay, so this is what happens. This is what happens. And then there's quite a lot of videos that I've actually saved the videos. I've compiled the videos. In my next broadcast, I'm going to be bringing the videos with evidence and everything to say, this is what happens here. This is how this thing was done. So even at some point, somebody says, are you talking out of revelation or out of experience? I'm talking out of revelation and experience as well. Okay? Because I remember there was a time some wheelchairs were brought out. And then the man of God called me, come here, son. You know, this coming Sunday, I won't be in church, so what can you do? Then people were sent. People were sent. And I was one of the people who were sending those people to say, go to that church, you go and you act like this, and you do this, and then you run. The man of God was actually on holiday. Then he appeared on the screen. He began to speak. No, I see there's someone with hemorrhoid. There's someone with a sickness like this here. There's someone with something like this here. There's someone who's... All those people ran to the front. When they ran to the front, the people are screaming and shouting, oh, the man of God is not in church, but things are happening. I have proof of all those things on my phone. I have proof of everything, the messages, everything, the pictures, everything. I have it on my phone. I've kept it. ever since that time up to today, because I knew that one day, a day will come when I'll have to use these things, you know. So today, as I'm sitting here right now, I want you to know, do not be deceived. I've been preaching and I've been using the scripture to explain the false prophets. I've been explaining the false prophetic, the fake prophets, using the scriptures. But today, I'm not going to use any scriptures. I'm going to use the reality of what happens on the ground. This is the truth that I'm speaking right here, okay? There's no need for me to lie or for me to come here and fabricate things, okay? I don't have anything against these people that I'm talking about. I just want them to repent. I want them to seek the truth, and I want them to come to Christ. I want them to really, really stand on Christ and begin to preach the truth to people and stop deceiving people. So I spent most of my time in Johannesburg because I was one of the people who was engineering these things. Wheelchairs in that church, Johannesburg church, there in the Johannesburg church, wheelchairs were kept upstairs by a man from Congo, When the whole scandal came up in February last year, when that scandal came up in February last year, they wanted to arrest him because he was one of the perpetrators of that miracle. Thank God I was not there. I was actually in Namibia at the time. I might have been one of the people who also have been arrested as well. But I know what happened. I know what took place. I know that there was nothing like that, you know. And I have the proof and everything. I won't speak about that because I believe it is already being handled by the authorities. Yeah.